So what the fuck is it? Is it a screen? Is it a display? Or is it an app? This is a story about how I lost my cool in the middle of the office at my previous job because I was not applying today's lesson correctly. Welcome to the third lesson in the Lessons on Requirements Management series. As always, these lessons are incremental in importance, and if you want to eventually extract the most value out of it, and if you haven't done it already, I encourage you to go watch lessons 1 and 2. My name is Marko, I am the CEO and co-founder of SwipeSpec. We are an agentic AI-powered tool designed to make requirements management easier for all of you spec writers out there. What this means is that we are using AI and AI agents to automate repetitive parts of requirements management process while still making sure that human is in the loop and in charge. The tool is easy to pick up and start using, and it offers a variety of features. Feel free to visit our website and join our waiting list if you're interested, and I'll make sure that you get your access as soon as possible. So if I quickly recap lessons 1 and 2, at this point, when I learned the third lesson, we were writing our specs and requirements down. That was the first lesson, and we were decisive that our specs live in one place in the company only, even that if you get some inputs elsewhere, it's not official and in scope until you find that information in the single source of truth. Go watch the second lesson if this concept is not clear. Still, even applying these 2 lessons, things were not smooth sailing, far from it. I was working on infotainment of today's super famous electric hypercar, the Rimac Nevera, and I was proposing features and functions of it. I was speccing it down in detail, but sometimes for certain screen in the infotainment, I would call it a display, sometimes I would call it an app, and sometimes I would call it a screen, as I did today. Let me give you a practical example of this. I would say that GPS navigation screen should enable users to select favorite destination. I would also say that GPS navigation app has to appear in under 300 milliseconds from request, and I would also say that users shall be able to close the GPS navigation display at any moment while it is shown. To me, this sounded great, clear, amazing, but now I see many issues with these requirements. I will also use the same examples for lesson number 4 as well. Right now, let's focus just on the words display, screen, and app. Just to expand on the context a little bit, as the project went on, we developed a mobile app for this car that had some features and functions of GPS navigation in it. Also, the physical display could be opened and closed mechanically because there is a small storage area behind the display. One day we had a big meeting invitation with people coming to talk about the navigation app. I was prepared. I prepared a lot of things to be able to support all parties present, but what I didn't know is that app in my head at the time was the mobile app, but app for them at the moment of meeting invite was app in the infotainment running on a physical display in the car. So basically we weren't even talking about the same thing. Whole thing was a huge fiasco, no one was ready, we all came with different mindset and all together had to be rescheduled. Bear in mind, this wasn't the first time that this type of thing happened. After that, I decided to go back and fix all the places where I was calling things wrong. My rule was that if it's a physical display, I will call it display. If it was a mobile app, I will call it an app. And if it was related to a screen being displayed and or interacted with on a physical display, I will call it the screen. I also implemented what today's lesson actually is. So lesson number 3 is define your names and terms. You can call it nomenclature, put it in the single source of truth, and make sure you don't mix those ever. To go even further, if you hear someone calling something the wrong name, even if it's clear to you at the moment, make sure to correct them and police everyone so that over time, calling things the correct name becomes second nature. If you don't do this, you will eventually run into miscommunication, something will get built that was not requested, someone will not be informed, deadlines will be broken, or budget will not be enough over this simple lesson. To summarize everything we learned so far, if you're applying all 3 lessons, you would be writing specs and requirements down. Congratulations, you are already ahead of the curve. You would be keeping specs and requirements in one place, maintaining the single source of truth, and you would have a sort of a library of terms and names of things that you're working on that everyone can apply in conversations or wherever they need to apply it, making sure that you all know exactly what you're talking about. That's it for today's lesson. Subscribe to our channel. I will be sharing my next spec writing lesson very soon. Like this video if you liked it, and go to our website, get yourself on that waiting list. Let my startup help you write better specs and requirements faster. See you next time.